This program is brought to you as a community service of BAF Insurance. The views, opinions, and advice expressed by guests on this show are those of the guests and do not reflect the views, opinions, and advice of BAF Insurance. For medical advice, please visit your medical professional.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Good morning and welcome to Your Health, Your Wealth, brought to you by our friends over there at BAF Insurance. This show is aired every Wednesday morning from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. on Bobo Radio 89.1 FM. Our guest today is Miss Diane Osborne. Miss Osborne is a peritoneal cancer survivor who has beaten this dreadful disease 3 times. Miss Osborne is joining us via Zoom, and we want to especially thank her for allowing us to sit and have this chat with her and share some of her personal journey with our listeners. Miss Diane Osborne is presently residing in Washington State, and she's also a retired registered nurse manager. Let's dive right in. Diane, can you start by telling us, on what date you were first diagnosed with peritoneal cancer and exactly what is peritoneal cancer?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me and for having me share my story. I was diagnosed in 2008, February, and I ended up having treatment, which was surgery and chemotherapy after I was diagnosed. So I was out of work for 8 months doing all that.
Tell us a little bit, because peritoneal cancer is not like a word that we're that familiar with. So explain to us, what is that? What is that a cancer of?
Okay, the peritoneum covers all those organs in your abdomen. So I had all these tumors growing on it. And it mimics ovarian cancer because when they did the biopsy and everything, basically they used the same treatment for ovarian cancer to treat me.
Okay.
As I said before, it's a very rare cancer, and my doctors were kind of baffled at the time because they hardly ever see it, but they treated me, and thank God for that.
What were your symptoms when you at the first time when you were diagnosed? What were your symptoms like?
Well, I was a horrible patient, really. Well, I wouldn't say that, but as a nurse, I started having pains from round about Christmas time in December. And of course, I'm having pains. I treat myself. And then eventually it caught up with me one day at work. I went into work and started having really bad abdominal pains and started vomiting. And was sent home. I went to my private doctor, and she sent me to the emergency room where I was X-rayed, CAT scan, MRI'd, everything, and they diagnosed me there.
Okay, and you said that first bout of treatments that took 8 months.
Yes, I did surgery first. Which was a complete, they call it a total debulking, where they took out all the tumors on the peritoneum and everything else that they could find, because I actually had tumors growing on my liver also.
Wow.
So
it really took a lot of control over your body, basically, from what you're saying. It had gone to almost every organ.
Yes, because it's in that area where all the organs are. So it pretty much just the tumors just grew and kept growing.
When you
And
started this treatment, were you aware of, or had you ever in your years of nursing, had you ever seen anyone else with peritoneal cancer? Had you treated and
no,
had you come into contact with anybody with that cancer?
no, I'd never seen anyone. And I actually worked as an oncology nurse for almost 80 years. And I had never seen anyone with peritoneal cancer. So
So
this
okay,
was
so
very new for me.
okay, the second time, how long between the first and second time did the cancer recur?
It was about a year and a few months
So
after.
you started feeling the same abdominal pains and everything, or it was something different?
This was different because this time it grew on my ribs.
Wow.
Oh
So
wow.
I had tumors on my ribs this time. So they um
I've
so I
I've
started having
never
pain again.
I've
I
never
was back
heard
at
of that.
work and I'm having pain, but this time I didn't ignore it.
Okay.
I went directly to the doctor, my oncologist before,
Mm-hmm.
and we did the test and found out that the cancer had come back. But this time the treatment was a little different. It was only surgical, no chemotherapy
Okay.
at this time. So they
Okay.
took out 3 of my ribs.
Uh-huh.
So now I'm walking around with 3 less ribs. So, but
Wow.
And
um,
is that obvious in your like can you actually feel like the space where they're going?
I can, but people looking at me wouldn't know.
They wouldn't know.
Okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
I, I'm just baffled by the fact that we have never heard of this particular type of cancer, much
I've
less
never heard of it either.
right, much less you who are part of the
From a
industry
medical
as a
background.
medical professional.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that? I mean, it just kind of you're like, what is this? And they say this, and you're like, I have never heard of this. What was your thoughts with that?
Well, to be real honest, I at the time I in it that first diagnosis, I was so everything happened so quickly because they had to really work very fast with surgery. I didn't have any time to really think about what was going on until I got home after surgery. And then when I got home, I believed strongly in God and I prayed. Since I'd never
Mm-hmm.
heard about it, I prayed and I asked the Lord to just point me to the people who knew about this cancer and who were the best equipped to take care of it, and me, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So I just
You
left it
had
in God's hands
uh-huh.
and felt that burden off my shoulders because now I have no control over this. So I
Mm-hmm.
that was how I felt. I just left it in God's hands and left it up to the professionals.
Mm, true.
What was your support system like at that time? Like as far as family or friends, like who was in the first instance where you actually had to undergo the chemotherapy? Like you had like a lot of bad side effects from the chemo?
Yes, I did. And my support system was the best because I had my surgery where I worked. So my
Oh.
whole staff and
Uh-huh.
the hospital family, they
Uh-huh.
rallied around me.
Mm,
They fed me. They
Mm-hmm.
um they took me to all my appointments. My car never left my driveway.
that's so
Wow.
They
sweet.
they took me
That's
to all my appointments. They secured my job basically. My director ensured that
Mm-hmm.
when I came back, I could go back into the same position.
mm,
Wow.
So that support system, as I said, my hospital family, and they were
Mm-hmm.
a family at that time. And then I lived in Florida at the time. My family lived in New York. So every
Mm-hmm.
time I had to do chemo, one of my sisters or my cousins came to stay with me that week that I had to do chemo and
Okay.
took care of me during that time.
Wow. We're going to take a quick break right here. We're talking with Miss Diane Osborne all the way from Seattle, Washington, talking about her courageous bout with cancer. We're going to take a quick break and come right back, and she's going to tell us about her support network and her family. You're listening to Your Health, Your Wealth, brought to you by BAF Insurance. Each and every Wednesday, we get together and talk about it. And I will be surprising you at the end of this. We're going to be rebroadcasting each week. So we'll tell you when you can tune in again to listen to that. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Welcome, everyone, to Your Health, Your Wealth, brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your Health, Your Wealth airs every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. So remember to tune in each week and tell a friend. You can also catch the shows you missed on YouTube on the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life channel.
And make sure you tune into the show and listen in for our resident superstar, Lady K.
If you don't know who Lady K is, her podcast, Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, is sponsored by BAF Global Group and can be found on YouTube. Her episodes are released weekly on the BAF Facebook page as well. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance as a community service. Your Health, Your Wealth airs every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m.
There's nothing more important than your health. BAF Insurance knows that. It's why we offer quality, affordable healthcare plans for both groups and individuals. It's why we have created the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life YouTube channel and the Your Health, Your Wealth radio show. At BAF, your health is our priority. Visit us at bafkman.com, follow us on Facebook, or give us a call today at 949-5089.
Welcome, Mike, to Your Health, Your Wealth. Tell me about BAF Insurance Cayman.
BAF Cayman is a proud member of the BAF Global Group, comprising insurance companies that have been serving the needs of our Caribbean generations since actually 1920. Our company has been active in the Cayman Islands since 2009, and our business continues to grow year over year, supported by our loyal and diverse client base that values market-leading rates, simple but extensive plan designs, and access to the best medical facilities when they need it most, whether at home or overseas.
Is BAF licensed and registered?
BAF is licensed by the Cayman Islands Monetary Authority as an A-class insurance company and specifically approved to provide health insurance by the Health Insurance Commission.
If you could choose one thing that makes BAF stand out from the other insurance companies, what would that one thing be?
Although BAF offers many advantages over other insurance companies, whether you are an individual member or a member of your company's health insurance group, choosing BAF means putting your confidence in BAF to provide the highest quality health insurance plans with the lightest impact on your pockets. And we offer member support services that meet and exceed all your requirements. Our member services provided by our local Cayman-based team are always accessible to support you, from submitting your applications or daily member claims to billing queries. You can always count on one of our team members to assist you.
Okay, Mr. Mike, getting close to the end of our 3 minutes. In wrapping up, are your group plans only for companies? And how many people do I need to make a group?
BAF Insurance offers both individual and group plans. Our group plans require a minimum of 5 employees and base rates starting as low as 150 CI dollars. The additional plans that require 5 employees or more is what we refer to as the BAF MedSafe Cayman Health Plus and the BAF Value Plan Enhanced 250, and the BAF Prestige Plan, our most robust plan, requires a minimum of 10 employees to form a group.
How can I get in contact with the company?
Very easy. You can just contact our individual agents, and or 949-5089 is our main office line, to our receptionist, who would then transfer you to one of our sales agents. BAF website is accessible at www.mybafsolutions.com.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
I am Desiree, co-host of Your Health, Your Wealth. I'll be with you every Wednesday from 6:30 to 7:30 a.m. Saturday, November the 11th, on the public beach, 7 Mile Beach. There's going to be something called Dance for Diabetes. BAF is putting that on.
Okay.
It's going to be from 6:30 in the morning until 8:30 in the morning. You can go on the bafkman.com website and register there. So it's going to start at 6:30. I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot of fun, because whatever BAF puts on, it's always a whole lot of fun. And they're going to have like a warm up with FN Sports. They're going to have Zumba with the School of Fitness. They're going to have health checks by Total Health Limited. And they're also going to have body scans that are available from Essential Living. So the main sponsor is BAF, but it's also Total Health, School of Fitness, FN Sports, and Essential Living. And that is going to be like a whole lot of fun. It gives you something to do between 6:30 and 8:30 in the morning. I mean, I'll keep you up to date if there's going to be any breakfast afterwards. You know, I'm into the food thingy, so...
Last year, in the height of the pandemic and all the community spread, I was scheduled to have a major procedure. The hospital needed pre-approval from your health insurance. I expected to have a lot of delays due to everything that was happening at the time. However, BAF was able to get my response in within a couple of days. This year, unfortunately, that procedure led me to have some complications, and I was scheduled to have another emergency surgery. That was on the weekend. The hospital mentioned that they did not have an emergency contact for BAF, so I would need to try and wait or pay for it out of pocket. However, I did have Mike's phone number. I was able to phone him on a Saturday morning. He was able to reach the person that handles the emergency line, and I was able to have my approval sent within the hour and have everything done and settled. Very thankful for BAF for their quick and speedy response despite the pandemic and the office closures and the work from home and all the other difficulties that we've all been facing in the last 2 years. Thank you, BAF.
BAF, that's BAF for life.
And we are back, folks. Welcome to Your Health, Your Wealth. Each and every Wednesday morning at 6:30 a.m., we get together, and for an hour, we talk to you about all things related to your health and your wealth. Of course, I have my co-host with me, Miss Des. Good morning to you, dear.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Tell them about our guest that we have on the phone with us.
This morning, we have Miss Diane Osborne. She's joining us from Washington State. She's been kind enough to donate some of her time and discuss with us a little bit about her personal journey with peritoneal cancer. This is a very rare cancer, and she herself, who is a registered oncologist nurse who worked in an oncology unit for quite a number of years, at the time that she was diagnosed, she hadn't ever met up with anyone who actually had that kind of cancer. And if you missed the first segment, well, you'll be able to listen to it again, because, Charles, you're going to tell everyone when we're going to rebroadcast.
Exactly.
Right? But we're going to get back into the second half now. And this lady has actually beat peritoneal cancer 3 times. So we're now, she was telling us just before the break about her support system with her family, her friends, and especially her work family, who I like to call your teamily. So she had an incredible support network. So Ms. Diane, if you would just continue from there, but tell us what happened the 3rd time you got the bad news.
Well, this time I had pain in my back. But
Mm-hmm.
as a nurse, as a RN, working a 12-hour shift, I
Mm-hmm.
constantly had back pain. So I was just medicating
Mm-hmm.
and go home and take care of it. And then it just got worse. And at that point, I knew I had to go back to my doctor. And when I went back, they found that the cancer had returned in my spine. So this was a very tricky one because when they called in the neurosurgeon, he wasn't able to do a surgery. He consulted with me, and I'd worked with him, so he knew me, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, Diane, there's no way I can do surgery. The tumors are too wrapped around your spinal column, too high up. I might miss something and end up paralyzing you.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't recommend surgery. So he recommended radiation and chemotherapy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another journey. I had to get marked for the radiation, and I
Mm-hmm.
had 36 treatments.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another 6 months of
Wait. You had 36 treatments?
yeah, but that's every day of radiation. So it's 36 treatments every day for like 5 days a week, basically.
Wow,
Jeez.
And
man.
and
I
then
know.
I and then I had chemotherapy afterwards once they had started shrinking the tumors.
So with all of this going on, you're in Florida, correct? When I say this,
Yes.
with all of this going now on, how did you maintain your weight, your health, outside of all of that? Because we know the effects of chemo from
Radiation
radiation
and
from
chemo,
and chemo from breast cancer and awareness and
other
other
cancers, yeah.
cancers. It's very debilitating to your body. How did you manage with this?
Well, and this is where my work family came in again. My director, my doctor, first off, he said to me, there's no way I'm going to recommend that you go back to work because your white cell count is too low, and your inpatient care area, you can pick up any kind of bacteria or virus, and that will just set you back too much. So I'm not recommending that you go back. So I spoke with my director, and she said she'll hold the position for me if I can recommend someone who can temporarily step in for me.
Hmm.
So I ended up recommending one of my charge nurses who did an excellent
Mm-hmm.
job, I might say. And
Okay.
this time I was out of work for 10 months. And
Oh
and
no.
this and this is where I tell you about the the miracle of God, because our policy at work is that they'll hold a position for you for 90 days, but they'll
Mm-hmm.
grant you another position, but it might not be on the same floor or in the same
Mm-hmm.
hospital or whatever. But they went ahead and they did this for me. And it was only through the grace of God that happened. And finance wise, of course, I'm not making any money. They
Mm-hmm.
had fundraisers for me,
Wow.
and they donated their leave time, their PTO time,
Man.
more than once. And that's another miracle again, because they're
See,
only supposed to do that donation
the,
once.
the
They did it for me twice.
this boggles the mind
Wow.
because when you think of in my our listening public, just walk with me for a second here. When you have radiation therapy and you're doing chemotherapy, you can go back to your job because it is not in an infectious situation. It's not, maybe you're susceptible to different things. Maybe you can work from home. Maybe you can do other things like that. This lady that we're talking to, is a nurse. You are in one of the most demanding jobs health wise outside of it, because you're dealing with people coming in with stuff. You're dealing, I tell people, I say that the sickest place is a hospital because they have to keep it clean because everybody else there is sick.
Yes.
So and that is what you had to work through to work in. I'm your tenacity and understanding is so good by the grace of God. We thankful that people can hear your story and relate to how difficult a time this is, because you really can't do any work because your field will jeopardize your life.
Yes, exactly. If I step back onto that floor, I'm taking my life basically in my hands. But as you said, by the grace of God, He made it possible for me to be out of work all that time. So, and you know Judith, and let me tell you, Judith is my friend. And you talk about ride or die. Well, for me, she's a ride or live friend, okay?
Mm,
Okay.
And she was there from the beginning. So she stayed with me the whole time, made sure I was well taken care of. As I said, I got people from work, every single one of them who I work with on my floor. They either volunteer their time to take me to doctor's appointments, to my chemo appointments, or they gave me food. They they took care of me. My church family fed me. The benevolent group. Every week, they would call me and ask me, what can you eat? Because they knew I was able to eat a lot of stuff when I was doing chemo.
right.
And
Limited.
they cooked for me. So it was like they gave me a menu and I told them what I could eat, and that was it. And believe me, during this time, when I was doing chemotherapy, I ended up being admitted to the hospital a couple of times because I was so sick with the vomiting, and
If
I
if
ended
you
up
don't
having
if you don't mind
lots of different complications.
if you don't mind us asking, at what age did you find out you had this cancer? At what age did it start for you? Because I mean,
I was 53 years old.
50, that's quite young. That that
Thank you.
that is extremely young. Wow. And the length of time we're talking from the first one
The
to
first time and then to the third
the
time.
third time, how long are we talking about in that vicinity for anybody who's just tuning in?
It was 2008 to 2011.
Wow.
So a rough 3 years.
Yes.
Three
And you must
years.
have thought at some point, is this going to ever stop?
Well, I did, of course, think that, and then I kept saying, Lord, I'm in your hands, and whatever you decide to do, I'm ready for whatever your outcome is, whatever. So I just went with the flow, as the saying goes. And I tell people that cancer is the best thing that has ever happened to me, because it brought me closer to God. Because, of course, as a Christian, we get caught up in being involved in church. And I was volunteering at church. I was doing all these things. And I was so busy that I didn't get a chance to get into the Bible and study the Word of God.
Okay.
And so when I was alone at home, that's what I did.
You dove into the real word then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not what somebody was telling me or what the pastor was preaching every Sunday. I went and I studied for myself.
Wow.
And I got a lot of support too from, as I said, my church family, because since I couldn't go to church, they came, they gave me communion at home, and of course, as I said, they fed me, they visited. So I got a lot of support from them also.
But We're
I
gonna.
was
Miss Diane,
truly blessed.
you certainly are very blessed. Miss Diane, let me ask you something. Since 2011, you've been cancer free?
Yes, ma'am. I have been, well, we'll say in remission, but I'm saying I've been healed
Uh-huh.
because every time I go
Uh-huh.
to my doctor now, I have to go once a year to my oncologist. And every time I go, he's like, "Oh, this is way behind you. It's in the rear view mirror." And I'm like, "Yes, it is."
Perfect, perfect. We're going to take a quick break, Miss Diane. We're going to come back, and I want us to talk a little about it from a nursing standpoint. I mean,
Okay.
as I said, as they say, the shoemaker always have the worst shoes, and doctors and nurses make the worst patients. I just want to talk to you a little bit about that. So we're going to take a quick break, take 2 minutes, and come right back. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Your Health, Your Wealth. Each and every Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. We get you up in the morning time talking about all the things that matter to your health and your well-being. And we interview guests from time to time. We have Miss Diane Osborne on the phone all the way from the great state of Washington up there in Seattle. So we're going to come right back and we'll continue the conversation right here on Your Health, Your Wealth, brought to you by BAF Insurance.
Your health, your wealth, your health, your wealth, your health for life. Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Today on Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, Lady K, your wellness coach, talks about breast cancer awareness.
It's that time of year again when we turn our attention to breast cancer awareness. This episode is not only for ladies. It's important to note that 1 in 100 cases of breast cancer happens in men. The signs and symptoms for both men and women are similar, so getting tested is important for all genders. And now is a good time to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Hit the notification bell also so you know when we have new episodes that have been uploaded. The most common symptoms include a lump or swelling in the breast or underarm, redness or flaky skin in the nipple area of the breast, discharge of fluid including blood from the nipple, changes in the shape or the size of the breast, including the nipple, and irritation or dimpling of the skin around the breast. It's important to note that many women who find out they have breast cancer do so unwittingly. They never feel a lump or have any other sign or symptom and simply discover that there is some suspicious tissue during a routine mammogram. Some of these symptoms can happen in other conditions. For example, many women have a non-life-threatening condition known as fibrocystic breasts, which causes their breasts to be lumpy. Cysts can also cause lumps in the breast, so don't jump to your own conclusions regarding any symptoms. Instead, take them seriously and see your doctor. There are many factors that can put one at risk for having breast cancer. Breast cancer risk increases with age, obesity, and heavy alcohol use. Women over the age of 50 and men over 70 have a higher risk of developing the disease. Women with a history of breast or ovarian cancer in their families, have dense breasts, started their menstrual periods before 12, or have had breast cancer before are at higher risk. Men who have liver disease or certain testicular conditions or who have had estrogen treatments for prostate cancer are also at higher risk for breast cancer. Because men typically have less breast tissue in general, lumps in male breasts are often easier to detect by touch. There are no proven foolproof ways to prevent breast cancer, but a healthy lifestyle that includes regular exercise, a healthy weight, and a balanced diet that includes natural, whole, and organic foods is a good start to lowering your risk of developing cancer and improving your chances of surviving cancer if it occurs. Mothers who breastfeed also lower their risk of developing breast cancer. Self-examination on a regular basis is vital. Everyone should be familiar with how your own breast is shaped and how it feels to touch. This is important in spotting irregularities and changes such as a lump or inverted nipple immediately. There are a host of videos and other resources online that can guide you through the correct way to do a self-examination or have your partner assist. I must stress, however, that self-examination should not be used to replace regular mammograms and doctor screenings. A self-examination is just another tool you have in your arsenal to help you detect breast cancer at the earliest possible time for the best possible outcome. It's important to get screened and know your status. Screenings include yearly mammograms for women after age 40 and possible testing for inherited genetic mutations in certain genes. If you have a family history of breast cancer, it may be a good idea to get screened for the breast cancer 1 and 2 genes to determine your risk of developing the disease. Men, this goes for you too. If you are at high risk because of family history, have the conversation with your doctor and get tested. Early detection saves lives.
Be Well, Be Healthy for Life is brought to you by BAF Global Group. Remember, always consult your doctor before starting any new health and wellness regimen. BAF Global Group offers life, health, and general insurance plus a full suite of financial solutions in the Bahamas, life insurance in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and affordable individual and group health insurance in the Cayman Islands. Visit us at mybafsolutions.com.
Hi, mi nombre es Zulma y yo hablo español. If you are looking for a group health plan that fits your budget and needs, then I'm inviting you to take a look at BAF. Our plans are flexible and affordable. So whether your group is large, medium-sized, or small, we will work with you to design the plan that is right for you. If you have already taken a look at BAF, then it is time to take a second look at our company that has perfected the art to design health insurance plan. Give me a call directly at 814-2532 or call our office at 949-5089. I am ready and waiting to help you find the plan that fits your need. Give me a call.
If you want coverage for life, choose BAF, they'll get it right. Yes, that's the best choice. BAF, that's BAF for life.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Your Health, Your Wealth, right here, brought to you by BAF Insurance. Talking with Miss Diane Osborne about a cancer that I had never heard of, Des had never heard of, and also the fact that she's a registered nurse. And so this is something that she has dealt with for her entire career. How does it feel to now be a patient, Ms. Diane? Just the thought process. I, as I said before, we always hear that doctors and nurses and people in the industry make the worst patients. Is there any truth to that?
Well, sometimes it can be a curse. But then another thing that helped me was, as I said, I worked as an oncology nurse for 8 years. So I did know about chemotherapy and radiation and all that. So that did help me. So I kind of knew what to expect. Another part of it is that because also you want to be part of it and you want to assert yourself into the equation. And I was blessed that I had the doctors and the nurses who took care of me. I had worked with them. So they knew me and they allowed me to be part of the equation.
So
my career.
You were part of the process because you knew the understanding, right? Of course. And when you talk about medication, you said the first one was radiation and then the second one was actual surgical. Tell me a little bit about the third one.
Well, the third one, as I said, the third one was radiation and chemotherapy.
Oh, the third one was radio.
The third was actually go on with the radiation and chemo.
Yes,
And
because they couldn't
chemo.
do
Right.
surgery
The
at
first
that
one was just
point.
chemo.
Hmm. They couldn't decide.
Yeah.
No, they couldn't do
Third one was
surgery
the
at that
worst one.
time.
Wow. And so your doctor
The
for from the beginning to
tumors were on her spine at that point.
yes, that's what I want to say. At that point, you're having problems on your back. You can't. Are you getting up? You're not able to. Tell me a little bit about that. Were you bedridden for a while?
No, I wasn't. I was working.
You
And
were.
as I said, I am a, well, I I must say that I was pretty dedicated. I love my profession. I love working where I was. And so I would go to work every morning, but I would medicate. I would be taking medication to help me through the day, pain medication.
Mm-hmm.
And and pain patches. I'll be sticking these pain patches on, these lidocaine patches that would help.
Right.
And that would pretty much take me through the day. On my days off though, I would spend most of my time in bed because it was so difficult moving around because
The
I was in so much
mobility.
pain.
Right. The mobility was an issue, and that's what I want to say. A lot of time for us who have that kind of drive, when you're not working and your mind isn't focused on something, you feel the pain more.
Yes.
Because you're reflecting, you're thinking about, oh well, my body isn't working properly, rather than being active and kind of helping your body jumpstart. I'm a firm believer that the body is an engine, and given
Yes.
given the right motivation and the right medication, it can function, it can heal itself, it can do miraculous things. So if we stop moving and stop doing what we normally do, these things tend to stop us.
Yes.
The pain is more, the joint ailments are more evitable. It's, and I hate to, I don't use the death word, but it's that sentence, that you can't move, you can't function, you just want to stop. And if you do that, then you really stop, folks. It's a mind altering thing that you need to be committed to getting yourself well, and that means movement.
Yes. And there is a saying that if you don't use it, you lose it.
True. True.
And that is exactly what happened. As on my days off, as I said, I'm laying in bed, and then you start feeling sorry for yourself. And that also takes in another part about mental health, because then you start
Hmm.
feeling sorry for yourself and getting depressed and don't want to be around people anymore. So
It
it has
becomes
a
a
lot of repercussions.
right. It becomes a downward spiral that nobody needs to go through. You start becoming withdrawn, and I think that is where the network and sometimes laughter and our social fabric kind of comes into play, because when you have people around you that you're talking about things, you're relating with concepts and ideas.
It's a distraction.
Right. It gives your brain time to kind of compel it to do other and think of other things, rather than I'm sick. This is a debilitating.
Yes.
Yes, this is a disease, and it's not getting. It got better, but it took a longer time. And sometimes our brain doesn't think like that. We're so instantaneously, oh, we want it. And pardon again, listeners, cutting it and chopping it and doing this, and we need this instant medication.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, we want instant gratification, and that doesn't
Yeah.
always work like that.
Mm-hmm. Very, very true. Wow. We're going to take a quick break right now and come back, and we're going to wrap up with Miss Diane Osborne. We've been talking to her about her journey through, I want to call it one of the
one of the rarest
rarest
cancers that
yeah.
occurs, I would
Yeah.
like to think.
I have never, as I said, I've never heard of this before. Not that I'm a medical profession, but you kind of know things. I've never heard of this, and and then not one, not two, but 3 bouts with it. We're going to continue the conversation and come back with her and wrap up in just a few minutes. You're listening to Your Health, Your Wealth, brought to you by our friends over there right at BAF Insurance.
Right now, we're going to take a break and we're going to listen to some health information from Lady K, our health and wellness coach.
Your Health, Your Wealth is brought to you by BAF Insurance. Your health, our priority.
Today on Be Well, Be Healthy for Life, Lady K, your wellness coach, talks about anemia.
Growing up, I've always heard that if you find yourself or you see a child eating ice, then they must be suffering from anemia. Anemia has always been associated with a deficiency of iron in the body. But there is more to anemia than simply needing iron. Red blood cells are important for carrying iron-rich proteins called hemoglobin, which also deliver oxygen to your body. Being anemic means that your body has a low number of healthy red blood cells, resulting in iron deficiency that makes you feel tired and weak. There is more than one type of anemia, each with its own cause, and anemia can be mild or severe, as well as temporary or long-lasting. Anemia can also be a sign of a more serious illness lurking below the surface. Depending on the type of anemia, people suffering from it often get cold easily and may have cold hands and feet, experience lightheadedness, shortness of breath, and look pale. As I mentioned before, there are several types of anemia. Iron deficiency anemia is the most common form, and as the name suggests, it's caused by a shortage of iron in your body. Heavy bleeding, such as menstrual bleeding, frequent use of painkillers, and stomach intestinal ulcers or cancers are frequently the cause of iron deficiency. Iron supplements are usually prescribed to address iron deficiency anemia. Care must be taken to increase fiber intake with these supplements, as an unwanted side effect is constipation. Vitamin deficiency anemia, also known as pernicious anemia, is caused by a lack of vitamin B12, a vitamin which is also essential to the production of healthy red blood cells. Some people do not consume enough B12, while others consume enough but aren't able to absorb enough to prevent deficiency. Vegans must supplement with B12 as it's only found in animal sources. Inflammatory diseases can interfere with the production of red blood cells, causing aplastic anemia, while bone marrow diseases such as leukemia affect blood production in the bone marrow, leading to anemia. Certain diseases cause red blood cells to be destroyed faster than they're produced, causing hemolytic anemia. This type of anemia can be inherited or developed later in life. Sickle cell anemia is a serious and painful hemolytic anemia in which the red blood cells are abnormally shaped like a sickle. These sickle-shaped blood cells die quickly, carrying little oxygen, and can sometimes become trapped in blood vessels, resulting in severe pain known as crisis and ongoing shortage of red blood cells. Left undiagnosed and untreated, anemia can cause a host of health issues, from extreme fatigue to pregnancy difficulties, heart problems, and life-threatening complications. The best way to prevent anemia is to eat iron-rich foods such as beans, dark green leafy vegetables, dried fruit, and occasionally meats such as beef. Folate and its synthetic form, folic acid, can be found in dark green leafy vegetables, dark red kidney beans, fruits and fruit juices, as well as enriched grain-based products such as bread, cereal, pasta, and rice. Read labels and look for food rich in vitamin B12 and include foods rich in vitamin C when taking B12, as vitamin C helps your body to better absorb iron. Of course, multivitamins may be necessary to supplement your intake of these vital nutrients. You should definitely have that conversation with your medical practitioner.
Be Well, Be Healthy for Life is brought to you by BAF Global Group. Remember, always consult your doctor before starting any new health and wellness regimen. BAF Global Group offers life, health, and general insurance plus a full suite of financial solutions in the Bahamas, life insurance in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and affordable individual and group health insurance in the Cayman Islands. Visit us at mybafsolutions.com.
Welcome back to Your Health, Your Wealth. Each and every Wednesday at 6:30 a.m., we get you up in the morning and get your day started with the right information on the right foot and also the positive foot. As I said, there's a lot of things going on in this world, and we just want to give you the information and also stories of positivity, stories of survival, stories of people thriving.
Of hope.
And stories of hope. Miss Des got it right. And we have with us Miss Diane Osborne, a 3-time fighter with cancer and coming out on the top. So wrapping up, Miss Diane, for all our listeners out there, what would you like them to know?
I honestly want them to know that a lot of people, when they hear the word cancer, they automatically just give up. But one of the things that has happened throughout the years is that there has been a lot of research done. And as you talk about positivity, if you go into this with a positive mind and believe in a higher power, that you are not alone in this fight, bring your little village. A lot of people want to hide it, but talk to your village because they are the ones who are going to support you. And just don't give up. Just don't say, okay, I have cancer and that's the end of my life. There is a lot of medication out there. There's a lot of doctors who have specialized in these areas, and they are there to support you no matter what.
Mm-hmm. And I think, folks, you're hearing it from a lady who has lived it, took it to the mat, took the punch in the chin. She's had ribs removed, folks, and is here positively talking to us and has a great quality of life. And so with that, I think, Miss Diane, thank you so much for your words. And also,
yes, Diane, thank you so much.
And just for being you.
Thank you so much. Can I just say one quick thing? Because I'm sure my son would never forgive me. Well, maybe not, but I have one son, and when all this was going on, he was in college, and he wanted to give up and come be with me, but his friends said, "Oh no, you're in college. You can't do that." They were the ones who stepped in for him. So he also had a great network of friends who stepped in to take care of me on his behalf.
Nice.
So of course, I just want to say thanks to that group of people who rallied around me and never give up. Even to this day, they still keep in touch with me.
That's awesome.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And your son's name, in case he wants to hear his name shout on the radio.
His name is Nicholas.
All right, Nicholas. Well, you got a.
So we give a shout out to Nicholas.
Yes, definitely.
For being a good son, and also to his friends for being a good support system to Miss Diane as well.
Perfect.
And for still keeping in touch, because that's important,
Exactly.
So true. Thank you so much, Miss Diane. We appreciate you for talking with us on this time. And we'll wrap up now. As I said, you know what? We get together each and every Wednesday, 6:30 a.m. till 7:30 a.m. Miss Des, take us on out of here.
Well, it's time for us to go. And Chuck, you forgot to tell us how we can listen to the repeat shows.
Thanks for reminding me, Des. You can tune in for the rebroadcast of BAF, Your Health, Your Wealth, each and every Saturday at 3 p.m. So don't forget to tune in on our additional date on Saturday at 3 p.m. And remember to check out Lady K's video on the Be Well, Be Healthy for Life channel on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and like and share with your friends. Those videos are definitely life-saving health tips brought to you free by BAF Insurance. You can also check us out on our YouTube channel, our Spotify channel, and also our iHeartRadio channel. Make sure you do all of those and click the like button. Be well, be healthy for life. You can catch up on all of our episodes for all of the shows that you miss. We'll see you next week. So tune in right here for a brand new show next week, Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. till 7:30 a.m. And also tune in this Saturday for the rebroadcast at 3 p.m.
Saturday, November the 11th, on the public beach, 7 Mile Beach, there's going to be something called Dance for Diabetes. BAF is putting that on.
Okay.
It's going to be from 6:30 in the morning until 8:30 in the morning. You can go on the BAFKman.com website and register there. So it's going to start at 6:30. I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot of fun because whatever BAF puts on, it's always a whole lot of fun. And they're going to have like a warm up with FN Sports. They're going to have Zumba with the School of Fitness. They're going to have health checks by Total Health Limited. And they're also going to have body scans that are available from Essential Living. So the main sponsor is BAF, but it's also Total Health, School of Fitness, FN Sports, and Essential Living. And that is going to be like a whole lot of fun. It gives you something to do between 6:30 and 8:30 in the morning. I mean, I'll keep you up to date if there's going to be any breakfast afterwards. You know, I'm into the food thingy, so...
Last year, in the height of the pandemic and all the community spread, I was scheduled to have a major procedure. The hospital needed pre-approval from your health insurance. I expected to have a lot of delays due to everything that was happening at the time. However, BAF was able to get my response in within a couple of days. This year, unfortunately, that procedure led me to have some complications, and I was scheduled to have another emergency surgery. That was on the weekend. The hospital mentioned that they did not have an emergency contact for BAF, so I would need to try and wait or pay for it out of pocket. However, I did have Mike's phone number. I was able to phone him on a Saturday morning. He was able to reach the person that handles the emergency line, and I was able to have my approval sent within the hour and have everything done and settled. Very thankful for BAF for their quick and speedy response despite the pandemic and the office closures and the work from home and all the other difficulties that we've all been facing in the last 2 years. Thank you, BAF.
BAF, that's BAF for life.